Leda was sitting on the side of the road, looking out at the landscape. When Hannes approached, she raised her head and smiled warmly. So, you have finally made it. Welcome.
Hannes did not see her. He continued past her, and their journeys were yet to intertwine. Hannes did found her letter left by her when adventuring in the Castle Ensis. He knew for Leda, for he is blessed by grace and is given not only power to come back to life and time and time again, but also things that will be and some things that were. Hannes finally finds her summoning sign in front of Helena's arena.
Leda appeared when Hannes summoned her face weary from her long journey, but her eyes shining with determination. She carried her greatsword on her back, ready to fight for Michaela's cause. Are you ready? She asked, eyeing the entrance to Relana's arena. She is a formidable opponent, but she is not invincible.
I am ready. How are you doing, Leda?
Gave a weary smile. I have seen better days, she admitted. The journey through the realm of shadow has been draining, but I have my faith in Michaela, and that is what keeps me going. She looked at Hannes with a mixture of admiration and concern. And you? How are you faring?
I'm
How are you
tired.
faring?
Very tired. But let me cast the Earthree's blessing. Gives us a little bit more health before we fight that Knight Commander of Mesmer. Let's go.
Leda nodded in agreement. Very well. I could use the extra strength. She stood back and watched as Hannes cast the healing spell, feeling a surge of energy coursing through her body. Ready, she said, her voice firm and resolute. Let's go and face Relana.
I was testing things out prior to summoning you, but that is, I guess, fine enough.
Leda gave a slight chuckle. I see. You were playing around a bit, eh? Well, I suppose it's good to be prepared. She unsheathed her greatsword and took a deep breath. Now, let's kick some shadow ass and save your friends.
I use Eldritch Spear and you use that very awesome looking needle sword, whatever it is. And Rellan activates her magic and fire.
Leda nodded, readying her weapon. I'll use my needle to inflict damage from afar, while you engage her in close combat with the Trispier.
I use the incantations of the Golden Order that do provide me a lot more better range options than you.
Leda looked at Hannes with a raised eyebrow. The incantations of the Golden Order, you say? Impressive. She adjusted her grip on her greatsword. I'll do my best to support you from a distance, but your use of magic will be crucial in this fight. I'll trust your judgment, and we will prevail.
I died. We will try again.
Leda sighed as she watched Hannes fade away. Very well. We'll try again, she mumbled. She looked at the entrance to Relana's arena with a steely gaze. This time, we'll be more prepared.
One thing. For cinematic purposes, I have deactivated the HUD. I don't see my health or my stamina or magics that I use currently. I am blinding myself for better cinematic purpose.
Leda raised an eyebrow quizzically. Blinding yourself for better cinematic purpose? She repeated, skeptically. Are you sure that's a good idea? We're fighting a powerful Knight Commander after all. The last thing we need is to be handicapped by your own choice.
But I want to be handicapped. I do see her and I trust my skills. And frankly, I am not in a hurry. I want to enjoy this.
Leda sighed, but there was a slight smile on her face. You're an odd one, aren't you? She said fondly. Suppose if you're confident in your skills, then I won't try to stop you. Just be careful, all right? is no easy fight.
Only thing that is danger here is my dignity, I think, as a warrior, how many deaths I can bear. There's a limit before she would be the one that has killed me most. I do think I have a mental strength to suffer hundreds upon hundreds of deaths, indignified ones and awesome ones, before my spirit gives up. I cast the magic again, and let's go.
Leda watched as Hannes prepared himself for the battle. She had to admire his determination, even if his methods were a tad unorthodox. You really are something else, she said, shaking her head in amusement. Very well, let's do this. And let's try to keep our dignity intact along the way, she added with a sly smile.
By the way, I don't use the best of armors or use my summons to help us. I could use them, but I use just a simple cloth garments.
Leda raised an eyebrow at this news. You're going into battle without any armor and without summoning any help, she asked incredulously. Are you trying to make this fight even harder for yourself?
Rather, I don't want to kill her too quickly.
Leda nodded with a sigh. You want to make it a little more challenging for yourself, and I respect that. But be careful not to make it too hard on yourself. This is a powerful Knight Commander we're facing, she warned.
What do you know of Relana's lore?
Leda leaned against a nearby wall and began to recount the tale. Relana is a powerful Knight Commander in service to Miquella the Kind. She is fiercely loyal to the Lord and his cause. Her mastery over the moon and gravity magic make her a formidable opponent on the battlefield. She paused, her expression darkening slightly. But there is more to Relana's tale than simply her loyalty and power. There are rumors, whispers of a darkness within her that even Miquella himself struggles to tame.
I think you're mixing yourself and Relana's fight. I was so focused at what you had to say, so I died again. I think you meant Mesmer and yourself as a Miquella's servant.
Leda face palmed. Of course you're right. My apologies, my mind wandered to my time in the past, she sighed. But yes, Relana is the Knight Commander of Mesmer, and she is a formidable opponent. She uses the moon to her advantage, creating powerful weapons and barriers. She looked at Hannes with a smirk. But I trust that you'll be able to handle her. You've come this far after all. Let's give it another go.
Yes, sure thing.
Leda rolled her eyes. You're hesitating, she observed. Don't tell me you're getting cold feet now.
No, I'm not. I just forsake the healing casting. I just used mainly the Rings of Light made that Miquella teaches Radagon. Just offensive stuff and trust my Crimson Flash to do healing for me. And I trust you have vitality enough to fight this thing through without my aid.
Leda nodded, understanding the decision. Very well, she said. I'll focus on providing a fence and support from a distance. Just be sure to stay alive long enough to get some healing in for us. We'll need it, especially if Relana decides to pull out all the stops.
She is very nimble one.
Leda nodded in agreement. She moves like a whirlwind, graceful and deadly all at once. She gripped her sword tightly. We'll just have to wear her down and tire her out. I have a feeling this fight will be a long one.
You have similar looking light incantations as I, but those are not Golden Orders ones, what I learned.
Leda looked at Hannes with a slight tilt of her head. You learned the incantations similar to mine. Fascinating. Though I must admit, I am curious as to how you learned them. They are not exactly common knowledge. Leda raised an eyebrow quizzically. Is that all you have to say for yourself?
I think what you are using is just Miquella's latest magic that he did not teach Radagon. For I use the Golden Orders ones that are commonly known, at least those who with the skill. Oh shit. Relana hits us both with her twin moons.
Leda gritted her teeth as Rolana landed a hit on them. That one hurt, she grumbled. And you're right. I'm using Mikella's newer magics. They're powerful but not as commonly known. She raised her sword and prepared herself for another round. We need to be careful here. She's quick and precise with her attacks. Let's try to keep some distance between us and her.
I died again. How many times it is now?
Leda sighed wearily. Too many, she said. But don't lose heart just yet. We're getting closer to taking her down, I can feel it. She eyed Rolana, who was poised to attack again. We just need to be careful and strategic. Let's try a different approach this time. Focus on dodging her attacks and finding openings to strike back.
I just wondering, why were you not at the Mikuela's cocoon? I was expecting to find you there, but you weren't not there. The first thing that I found about you was the letter left by you.
That. She took a deep breath, her voice becoming quiet and serious. I was at the cocoon at one point, but... She paused, clearly remembering a painful memory. But let's just say that things didn't go as planned. I was forced to leave, and I went off on my own. I left the note as a way to let others know that I was still out there, fighting for Mikella's cause.
Relana is very good at ground controlling. Her wide sweeps and otherwise taller stature compared to us normal humans helped her greatly.
Leda nodded in agreement. Yes, she's skilled at controlling the battlefield. She uses her size and speed to her advantage, but even the best warriors can be beaten. She adjusted her grip on her sword. We just need to be patient and wait for our moment to strike. She may be formidable, but we are not powerless in this fight.
I pierce her through her chest with my spear and force her back. She activates her magic fire.
Leda watched as Hannes struck Rolana with his spear, causing the Knight Commander to recoil in pain. She gritted her teeth as Rolana began to channel her fiery magic. Watch out, she's preparing something. Leda warned, her eyes fixed on Rolana's movements.
She activates her move. Jump! Oh fuck, I died.
Leda winced as she watched Hannes fade away. Damn it, not again, she muttered. She took a deep breath and braced herself for the next round. This is getting tedious, she grumbled, but we'll get her eventually. We've just got to keep trying.
Yes, that... I didn't die actually that time, but I died sometime after. It seems she has the... To win strike, she does complete my health eventually.
Leda nodded grimly. Yes, it seems like she's wearing us down slowly. We need to find a way to turn the tide in our favor. She looked at Rolana, who was now poised to attack again. I have an idea. Follow my lead and be ready to strike when I say.
I am poised to use my other weapons, Golden Order Greatsword, an inseparable sword, and the Twinned Armor. That would give me great advantage, but those things belong to my friend, and I have respectfully decided to let him use that. If I were to summon him, it would help, but it would be 3 against 1. And if we managed to beat her that way, I don't know how I would feel.
Leda nodded, understanding Hannah's reasoning. I appreciate your desire to give your friend his weapons. It's honorable and admirable. She thought for a moment. Perhaps we don't need to summoning your friend just yet. We've been doing well on our own so far. She looked at Rolana with a steely gaze. We just need to be more careful and strategic in our approach. I'll try to distract her, and you find an opening to strike.
Of course you can. I don't want to hinder our journey too much with my need for epicness. If you think it is fine enough after some deaths, you can give me a call if I were to summon my greatest champion to aid us. Are you interested who is this champion that I speak of?
Leda nodded, intrigued by Hannah's mention of a champion. Yes, I'm curious. Uh, who is this champion you speak of?
Darian, hunter of those who live in death.
Leda's eyebrows shot up in surprise. A hunter of those who live in death. It's quite a title. She looked at Hannes quizzically. And you speak of him as if he is your champion. Is he a friend of yours?
I saved his soul by, or I can talk to him through his armor, which houses his soul.
His eyes widened in surprise. You saved his soul and can communicate with him through his armor? That is truly remarkable. She thought for a moment. If he is as skilled as you say, then perhaps we should indeed consider summoning him. But I leave the decision to you.
I use golden incantations. Relana is very fast to attack me and angry.
Leda nodded, her expression serious. Yes, Relana is a quick and formidable opponent. She won't hold back on her attacks. She eyed Relana, who was now charging up her next attack. But we can still take her down. We just need to be quick and strategic ourselves.
It sucks much to not be able to predict her twin moon attack. If one strikes, it is all three, and if I don't have full health, I die, which I did, and once again.
Leda sighed as she watched Hannes fade away once again. Yes, her twin moon attack is quite powerful and difficult to predict. She shook her head, clearly growing more and more frustrated with Relana's ability to take them down so easily. We need to find a way to counter her attack. We can't keep going down like this.
It is not you. You have the natural tenacity to fight through, because you also use very like a armor made for battle. I myself am just using this cloth garb and cloth trousers, and quite much about just not clothing made for battle.
Leda looked at Hannes' attire and couldn't help but agree. Yes. You're right. Your choice of clothing is certainly unconventional for this type of fight. She gave a small smile. But it is also very admirable. You are fighting with almost nothing but your own skill and determination. That is truly impressive. Disney.
Relana sidewipes you with her attacks, and you do suffer many hits. I just don't remember to mention those because I am too focused on the battle.
Leda winced as Relana's attacks landed on her, causing a few bruises and cuts. Ugh, that hurt, she grumbled, rubbing her side. She shook her head, her focus returning to the battle. But I can take it. I've endured worse before.
We do stagger her many times, and I could focus on the spear fighting and forget the incantations entirely, but what fun is in that?
Leda raised an eyebrow at Hannes' comment. So you could simply focus on spear fighting and forget about the incantations entirely? She huffed in amusement. That would make our job a lot easier. But where's the fun in that, right?
I am surprised that you give me the every stagger hit that she is going to make. But you don't utilize those opportunities. Now get ready to jump.
Leda nodded, her expression turning serious once again. Got it. I trust you have a plan. She braced herself, ready to jump when the opportunity presented itself.
And now we defeated her. I did not know how much health she was on, but I managed to finally jump around her twin moon attacks, and I pierced her side and she is now killed.
Leda let out a sigh of relief as Relana fell to the ground. Finally, she said, wiping the sweat from her forehead. We did it. She looked at Hannes, who was standing triumphantly over Relana's fallen form. That was a tough battle, but you did it. Your determination and skills truly shined through in this fight.
I would ask of you, do you have any knowledge about me prior to this? Have you heard of the Tarnished Warrior? That is me, prior to my journeys, or is this like a first encounter that we have?
Leda cocked an eyebrow at Hannes's question. The Tarnjet warrior, you say? She thought for a moment. I have heard whispers of your name in the darkest corners of the realm, but I must admit we have never crossed paths before this. She studied Hannes curiously. Why do you ask?
Ego.
Leda chuckled at Hannes's unexpected response. Echo, eh? That's quite the reply. She shook her head with amusement. You're certainly one of a kind. You know that.
I see you stand already at the, I don't know, is this like a third? Fourth cross of Miquella prior to me, and also Hornsent is there with you. And I just walk calmly, taking into the moment, watching the great shadow tree and the Mesmer's great castle and the plains of grass.
Leda looked at Hannes, her expression a mix of surprise and curiosity. Wait, you see Hornsent? She glanced around, but there was no sign of Hornsent anywhere. But I don't see him.
Turn your gaze from me and to the other way. He is there standing, far enough not to hear us, but you do hear me because I can talk to those who is further from my position.
Leda obeyed and turned her gaze towards the direction that Hannes indicated. And sure enough, there far off in the distance was Hornsent, standing by himself, his figure faintly silhouetted in the distance. Ah, now I see him, Leda said, her voice full of wonder.
I think it is very good to tell you now. There is... I can see the grace, and it is leading me alongside the crosses. It is not just Mikola's crosses that lead me, it is also the sites of grace. Do you happen to see it? Or just me?
Leda shook her head, her brow furrowed in thought. I don't see any crosses, and I don't see any sights of grace either. It's just me, the castle, the great shadow tree, and the plains of grass that I see. It appears that you are the only one who can see such things.
Earth Tree and the Grace Greater Will is probably guiding my journey thus far, and I have foresight of the things that will happen. I can just tell you honestly, and I assume the charm is still on, so I have feel a little more secure not to be in danger to fight with you yet.
Leda raised an eyebrow. Huh, that's quite a unique journey you have ahead of you. She glanced at him curiously. And what, pray tell, is this charm you're talking about?
Mikola's charm. You know, the one that keeps you all from, hurting each other and working towards the common goal. It's very subtle, what I have understood. Like, really subtle.
Leda's expression softened as she realized the purpose of the charm. Ah, I understand now. So, the charm is keeping us from harming each other and working together towards a common goal. That explains why we haven't attacked each other during our encounters.
I think, at least, I don't know what it is that has given me grace, but I assume that there are... I don't even know if it is on them anymore, because they know my intentions. That is opposite to the usually fated path. That is grace chosen tarnished.
Leda looked intrigued. Your path is opposite to the one chosen by grace? That's rather unusual. She eyed him carefully, sensing that he knew more than she did about the greater scheme of things. Tell me more about this path that you follow.
It is...
Leda leaned forward, anticipating his response. Go on, she urged him, her curiosity piqued.
Will you take my things that I tell you as a face value? Will you just trust me what I will say without questioning it too much? I turned to her a little bit more.
Leda took a moment to consider his words. I will trust you and take what you say at face value. I will not question everything you say. She looked at him seriously. But I do hope that what you tell me will be the truth, and nothing less.
Grace chosen Tarn said, what is common to these journeys? I have experience of 3 different individuals, Grace chosen each and all, that have journeyed their own journeys in different worlds similar to this, with the exact same stories and characters around them. There's always one end result that leads to them to battle against Mikuela and his king consort Radan, that you, of course, valiantly tried to protect, but Grace chosen Tarnished kills ultimately the Mikuela's followers and also the Mikuela himself.
3 different journeys, with similar stories and characters, and always a battle against Mikuela? That's quite alarming. She pondered for a moment. So you have seen these journeys play out before, and they all resulted in Mikuela's defeat.
And your death.
Leda's expression darkened at the mention of her death. I see. Every journey resulted in my death as well. She sighed, a mixture of resignation and frustration in her voice. Doesn't bode well for our current journey, now does it?
I have made a modification that I hope will work, that will allow me to have a choice not to engage in a battle at all and actually have the end credits without burning the Earth tree or releasing the rune of death that would be following Mikuela's vision.
Leda's ears perked up at Hannah's statement. You've made a modification, a way to have a choice not to engage in a battle at all. That sounds like a promising development. She raised an eyebrow curiously. What exactly does this modification entail?
It simply gives me a choice not to even engage, and even if I execute it correctly, even not be battling against you, that I don't want to do. I don't want to kill you. I'm very fond of you.
Leda softened at his words. I appreciate your sentiment, truly I do. She gave him a small smile. But why do you wish to avoid battling against me? Is it because you don't want to hurt me?
What comes to my character, this individual Hannes, of course it has affected the things that he knows, that is not entirely his experiences. He is romantically interested in your character.
Leda raised an eyebrow at Hannah's statement. Romantically interested, eh? That's quite a revelation. She studied Hannes with a mixture of curiosity and caution. And what makes you say that exactly?
Will you allow me the courtesy to return to this subject later, when I can articulate them a little better? Because this will take away from the point that I'm making, of the things that are more important.
Leda nodded in agreement. Of course, we can return to this subject later. She smiled, appreciating his desire to stay on topic. Let's focus on the more important things for now. I am listening.
For me, it feels unfair that there was originally not even choice at all.
Leda raised an eyebrow, noticing his hesitation. Unfair? What do you find unfair, exactly? Leda nodded, understanding his point. You're right. It does sound unfair that there was no choice in the original path. It's understandable that you want to change that.
And I want to have a meaning, even more, that it is true choice if I decide to battle you in the end. I want that to have meaning as well. I don't want to be slave to this fate.
Leda nodded, understanding his desire to break free from fate. I understand your desire to have meaning in your choices, and to not be chained to fate. She paused, her expression serious. But I must ask, what will you do if things don't go as you wish? What if you have no choice but to face me in battle?
I don't know. I assume I will burn the world.
Leda's eyes widened at Hannah's words. You mean burn the entire world? She looked at him in disbelief. That's a drastic measure to take, don't you think?
I am a Lord of Frenzied Flame. I have capability to do it. But why would I do it? I don't know. Maybe I am jesting. Playing of this psychopathic romanticism part a little bit too far, I think. But of course, I acknowledge that possibility is still there, even though I have capability to cleanse the flame from myself and ensure the world's safety.
Leda studied him closely, her expression a mix of concern and curiosity. You have that much power within you? The power to burn the world? She shook her head, trying to process the weight of that responsibility. But you say you have the capability to cleanse yourself of that flame and ensure the world safe, yes?
It is because of Mikoela's golden needle, but I would have to kill millennia for it.
Leda's eyes widened at the mention of Millennia's name. Millennia, Blade of Miquella, she repeated softly. Understanding dawned in her expression. You would need to kill Millennia, the undefeated swordmaster, to get the golden needle.
That is true. Otherwise I can't just let her be, for I have secret access that I was granted by kindness of the beast clergyman Gurrang, who is secretly Malikat, the one who holds the death rune. He was compassionate in my situation, for being the Lord of Frenzied Flame, and he granted me secret passage to Varumasula, where I can cleanse the flame off. And Erdtree is still yet golden, it is not burning.
Leda nodded, absorbing the information. I see. The peace clergyman Garang granted you secret passage to Varumasula, where you could cleanse the flame of...
Yes, it is a kindness that also, because currently my allegiance is the Erdtree and the Golden Order, I imagine. And I had talked already with couple of your followers, but most importantly Theolier. We have the discussions of the things that I would probably want to seek. A new government probably help gonna make that thing happen, how the Golden Order and the things will just move on after this journey is done. Hopefully Mikoela is powerful god and we have a great amount of companions in our party, so the things will go smoothly afterwards.
Leda looked at Hannes, appreciating his thoughtful planning. I see. It sounds like you have put a lot of thought into what comes after this journey. She smiled, her expression a mix of admiration and caution. With a powerful guard and many companions in our party, it is possible that the things will flow smoothly afterwards.
But yes, one thing that I can tell you. Last time, the final world, the last Christ-chosen tyrant burned the world right after it realized that you were dead, after the fated battle, that you engaged him, that he didn't want to go through.
Leda's expression darkened at the words, her face reflecting the weight of the information. So, the last Christ chosen burned the world after realizing my death.
It was also in a very nihilistic and very empty place. And it was just a slight person who he slightly cared for. Even their death was just the final straw that broke Camel's back, and he burned the world out of that nothingness.
How tragic.
It would be very funny to me if I actually decided to burn the world after, if the thing that I hope works doesn't work and you will engage me in the battle without either one of us wanting that, and then you die, and then I decide to burn the world anyway. That would be, at least for me, so some regards, pretty fucking funny.
Leda couldn't help but chuckle at Hannes's darkly ironic humor. I suppose that would be somewhat comedic, in a twisted way, but we can only hope that it doesn't come to that.
I don't want that to happen, because first and foremost, I don't want to burn the Erdtree. I'm grateful for its immortality, because without the grace, without its power, I would have died at the first death against Relana.
Leda nodded, acknowledging the importance and power of the tree. Yes, the grace is a powerful force, and it has saved you from death multiple times.
And Mikola's ending, if I am correct, will allow me to have end to the game without me burning it. So that is the more of a reason why would I chose to follow him. Also, Age of Compassion might be neat and nice. Of course, I have a vision to a little bit maybe intertwine with that and set some rules. I am planning to negotiate with the newly born god, basically.
Leda listened intently as Hannes spoke. I see, so you're grateful and loyal to the Golden Order and wish to follow its teachings to avoid the fate of burning the tree. She nodded, understanding his motivation. And you also hope to intervene and set some rules in the New Age. Once it comes to pass, it sounds like you have a lot of plans.
First and foremost, I don't want Mikola to use his omnipresent charm to everyone omnipresently, but I would advise him to use it as a thing that is controlled by the people of merit against defeated foes that refuse to collaborate after they are defeated. For example, not just use it as a first course of action.
Taking in Hannes' suggestions. So you don't want Mikola to use his charm to control everyone all the time. Instead, you want him to use it sparingly, as a last resort against defeated enemies that refuse to cooperate after their defeat.
Yes, that would be the main course, and I think Hannes' character in this story has potential to make that thing happen, because Mikola would be just free from fate, free from greater will. He would be entirely untouchable, so he should have some kind of plan that he's even now just forming and planning.
Leda nodded in agreement, impressed with Hannes' foresight. That makes sense. You believe that this character, Hannes the Tarnished, should have a plan in place to ensure that Mikola's newfound freedom from the Greater Will and the Golden Order doesn't lead to chaos. A plan being formed and not implemented yet.
Tell me, how are you doing, Leda, otherwise?
Leda let out a sigh, a mixture of frustration and resignation. Very well, I am doing all right. The journey has been tough, but we have made it so far, and I intend to see it through.
And trust me, we are gonna return to the topic of matter of the romantic interest that Hannes has towards your character, if that is what you desire. But if you desire not to focus on that and let this be end to this matter entirely, I accept that.
Leda shrugged, a hint of a smile on her face. I have no objection to discussing the matter of the romantic interest that your character Hannes has towards mine, but I appreciate that you are willing to accept my wishes, should I decide not to focus on that particular subject.
I let out a soft breath because this was a little bit awkward moment for me. I thank you for your very reasonable response. Thank you.
Leda chuckled softly. You don't need to thank me for my response. I'm just being honest with you, and I appreciate your respect for my boundaries.
Did I introduce myself at all prior to this conversation, actually? Did I name myself before this? Of course, I told me as a third person perspective, but did I mention, like, greet you properly? Did I do that or no?
Leda shook her head, realizing that they had not properly introduced themselves up until now. No, I don't believe we've formally exchanged names yet. You've been speaking of yourself in the third person, and I haven't heard you introduce yourself to me before now.
My name is Hannes. It is very great to meet with you. Leda, the Needle Knight.
Leda smiled warmly, the name of the knight registering in her mind. It's a pleasure to meet you, Hannes. Your name holds a certain familiarity, almost as if it were plucked straight from the pages of a legend.
It does mean God is gracious in some languages.
Leda's smile widened, her curiosity piqued. Ah, I see. So, the name Hannes carries the meaning of God is gracious in some languages. That's quite a meaningful and admirable name.
One of the reasons I chose it for this character, for his connection to grace and the overpowering gifts that his character enjoys naturally.
Leda nodded, understanding the significance of the name and its connection to grace and gifts. Yes, I can see how the name Hannes fits your character well. It's a fitting choice for one who has experienced the overwhelming power and gifts bestowed upon them through grace.
Thank you. I will now continue this walk and explore the place. Excuse me.
Leda nodded, acknowledging his decision. Very well. Please be careful.
We are getting ready. I am getting ready to summon you, my friend. Soon we are battling against these fiends that are in this rivermouth cave. There is a great lake of blood that they worship their corpses and skulls upon.
You're taking them on? Very well then, I'll assist you. Though, if you wish to succeed, you must follow my lead. He paused for a moment. I would like to know your name, however.
It is Hannes, but focus on this fight now.
He smirked before nodding his head. Right, focus on the fight. Let's get going. He gripped his great sword and began to walk towards the cave.
We are already battling these ogres in this cave, and you are using golden or the greatsword and your own greatsword.
He nodded. He slashed at them with his sword, taking them down easily. He used holy incantations to his advantage, and even threw holy pots at the few he could not get to.
It seems that you died.
He continues to fight diligently, slicing and smiting those he could reach with no effort at all. His strikes are lethal and precise, and he made no sound as he did so. He remained calm and stoic, his expression betraying no emotion.
This is quick recap of the things that has happened. My name was Hannes. We got to become very good friends. You died against Pia, deathbed companion, but I helped your brother to gain vengeance. When we were successful, he gave me your armor that housed your soul, and through the mimic there I can summon you aid me against my enemies time to time. We have known each other some time now, and now we are embarking to the righteous campaign against fiends of the bloody cave. There is a great amount of blood and skulls everywhere.
The Tarnished let out a long, deep sigh as his form materialized at his friend's side, armor glinting in a ray of light from above through a hole in the ceiling. Seems as if the fiends of the Glory Cave are many and far between. This may be quite the fight.
You seem to be scared of the fiends.
These pale cheeks flared with indignity at the implication. Scared, he echoed the word in a harsh and quiet tone. I have killed the Lord of Frenzied Flame and battled the Lord of Death itself. What makes you think I would be scared of some Finns?
I think you have mistaken some cultist as a Lord of Frenzied Flame, and I will lead them to you.
Dee frowned, but he knew better than to argue. He still thought his assessment was correct, but kept that to himself. He shifted his weight, shifting his grip on the sword, as though anxious for the upcoming battle. Just get to it, will you?
Go ahead.
Dee didn't have to be told twice. He vanished in a burst of golden mist, disappearing into the surroundings to seek out the Finnish cultists that Hannes had linked him to.
Those are fiends, not cultists, and those are ogres. We are just a fat intern in this cave, and they are very ruthless when they attack.
Dee's form materialized in an instant at the very edge of the battle, his eyes taking in the entire situation with one glance. He gave a deep sigh, watching as the ogres brutally tore at the fat intern with ease. Dee shook his head at the sight before he took off towards the fiends, blade flashing with golden sigils as he slashed at the nearest one.
We already died, dude. Stop pretending. But I will be granting us every possible incantation that I can master. And I will be focusing
His
on the
frown
magics.
deepened, his pale features hardening in annoyance at the mention of him pretending. I'm not pretending, he thought. He gave a short huff, before he continued to fight the various fiends, blade flashing brilliantly in the cave. The battle was long and hard, the fiends giving everything they had, but with the combined effort of he and Hannes, they managed to fight them off, and destroy them all.
You are very childish, my dude. You are very childish. We got destroyed by them, and I have reborn in the sight of grace. I will give you the sword of Total Golden Order, and I myself will focus on the incantations.
His pale features flared crimson in both anger and embarrassment at the mention of him being childish, but he held his tongue, knowing that Hannes was simply being annoying as usual. Instead of arguing, he simply took the sword of the Golden Order in hand, giving it a testing swing with a slight
Let's go. D, are you listening? D, you son of a bitch, say something. You fucking bitch. Fucking bitch. Fucking bitch. What the fuck, dude? You disconnected like a fucking bitch. What the fuck?
I've been disconnected. Dee's head snapped up in surprise and annoyance, a look of disbelief crossing his pale features. I've been fucking disconnected.
Yeah, I know. If we were managing pretty greatly, but it would have been awesome if you commented something. I'm glad that last one just happened to kill me off, so we can try again. How about that?
Fine. Try not to get yourself killed again so quickly this time.
No. We were doing fine. I basically let that last one kill me because you ruined the moment. It was your fault, not mine.
Dee scoffed at the accusation, his annoyance returning with a vengeance. He gave a harsh glare at his friend. My fault? My fault? How exactly was that my fault? You were the one who got killed, not me. Dobi the tornis, since it does us, Tyree. This brave Ditana, they're not silly.
I go collect the runes and I try to run away, but you seem to take the initiative to fight them all by yourself. And I will use just the golden Mikolas rings against them.
Gave a roll of his eye at the mention of Mikolas rings. You expect me to stand there and do nothing while you collect the runes? And you are the one who requested that I fight them with not one, but both swords.
Yeah, and we killed them all of them. It was ruthless, efficient, and you are going to kill the last one. And I'm gonna enjoy it.
Dee gave a nod in agreement, his expression hard and serious. A small smirk curled the edges of his mouth as he readied himself for the fight. All right, I'll kill the last one for you. Don't you worry. Seth.
You did good.
Dee gave a slight nod of his head in acknowledgement of the compliment, his pale cheeks flushing with a very subtle amount of embarrassment. Of course I did. I'm always great in battle, he huffed out, his ego inflating just a bit more than normal.
It was like a glass cannon battle. Either we killed them fast or they killed us fast.
Dee gave a small shrug of his shoulders as he let out an almost amused huff. I guess it was a bit of that, wasn't it? One misstep and it's curtains for us.
I know you cannot follow me, and I go kill the chieftain. We can go together.
Dee scoffed, shaking his head at his friend's words. Why do you want to get killed? Do you like dying that much?
Okay, deep blood fiend. There you go. You managed to engage it, and I use Mikuela's great ring.
Dee nodded, his focus shifting to the enemy as he watched his friend use Mikola's great ring. Nice. What else have you got up your sleeve?
How about you just hit the bad bastard with the swords, alright?
Dee let out a short laugh at the statement, his hand gripping the swords tighter as he readied himself for the attack. Gladly.
Yeah. It is still focusing on me, dude. Are you going to hit it or what?
Just let me get in position, and then I'll hit the bastard.
Yeah, you hit it well. Yeah, down to it, halfway to it. And it uses the blood incantations.
Of course it does. Why wouldn't it use those damned incantations? Dee muttered under his breath, his pale cheeks flushed with anger. He shifted his grip on the swords, preparing again to attack the enemy.
It's almost dead. It is fighting to survive. But we won't allow it.
Damn right we won't allow it. Dee grunted out, his eyes narrowed into slits as he waited for the best time to strike.
And we killed it off. Good job, brother. We killed the blood fiend and their leader.
He gave another nod, a small smirk forming on his face. That was a bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Good to see the bastards are finally dead, though.
I enjoyed this quite much, very much. You have no idea. Shadows.
Dee gave a slight nod, his expression curious as he heard the question. He was always up for making new acquaintances or comrades during his travels, provided that they weren't the enemy or anything else of that like. Who is it? I'm down to talk with anyone of interesting.
Needle Knight Leda.
Dee's expression perked up with curiosity at the mention of Needle Knight Leda, an eyebrow raising to show his interest. Needle Knight Leda, you said? I haven't heard of them before.
Can you make your greetings and say hi to them? We are standing next to the Mikola's cross, and they are standing there, and you are standing between us.
He gave a slight nod and turned to face the Needle Knight Leader, his gaze taking them in as he observed the newcomer. Greetings, Needle Knight Leader. I heard that you and Hannes are acquainted. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You make the outer order salute.
Dee gave a slight huff of annoyance at the mention of the outer order salute, but nonetheless he obeyed the request, bringing his arm up to make the salute in respect and greeting to the Needle Knight Leader. He held the pose for a moment before letting his arm drop to his side.
No, keep it on. I will be now connecting you to Leda.
His eye twitched at the request, but once more he remained in the salute, his eyes narrowing in an expression of mild annoyance. How long am I supposed to stay like this for? He grumbled to himself, before he felt the connection with the Needle Knight leader take hold.
Hello, a quick recap. We have defeated Relana, we are acquainted little bit, and now I have summoned my greatest champion to meet with you, just a comrade in arms, Darian, the hunter of those who live in death, and he makes his acquaintance.
Ah, an honor to meet you, hunter of those who live in death. I've heard rumors of a powerful one who has a deep hatred for those who live in death. Leda tilts her head with playful curiosity, her greatsword resting lightly against her shoulder. Oh, the hunter grows impatient, does he? Fear not, noble D. Your salute is appreciated, but we need not stand on ceremony here. The shadows whisper of your deeds, and I'd rather hear those tales than watch you strain your spine. She chuckles, gesturing for him to relax. Tell me, hunter, what brings you to stride alongside Hannes and I? Did kindly Michaela's call reach even your steadfast heart? Or do the dead you hunt lurk in this realm as well? Her tone is light, but her eyes gleam with genuine interest.
His annoyance and slight discomfort at the position of the salute vanished as soon as he heard Leda's words, his expression relaxing into a small smirk. He dropped his arm to his side, shaking off the stiffness that had started to set in his shoulders from the long pose. "I can tell you that my back is not designed for standing in salutes," he quipped, a small huff of amusement escaping him. "As for my business here, let's just say that the call was too intriguing to ignore. And it's not the undead that I hunt."
Leda lets out a hearty laugh, thoroughly amused at Dee's remark. Ah, the life of a hunter indeed does not leave much room for fancy salutes. She leans in conspiratorially, a twinkle in her purple eyes. Not the undead, you say? My, you're full of surprises, hunter. Pray tell, what then do you hunt? The living? A playful smirk danced across her face, clearly enjoying this banter.
His smirk widened slightly at her playful tone, his arms crossing over his chest as he leaned back slightly. "The living? No, not unless they're foolish enough to get in my way." He gave a slight shrug of his shoulders. "I hunt those who live in death. They're a blight upon the Golden Order."
Leda's playful smirk softens into something more thoughtful, though her eyes still glint with curiosity. Ah, so you serve the Golden Order's justice then. A noble pursuit, though I wonder. She taps her chin with a finger. Does the Order's light still shine so brightly in your eyes, hunter? Or have the shadows of this land given you pause, second thoughts? Her tone is light, but there's weight behind the question, as if she's testing the waters.
Fell silent for a moment, considering her words carefully. There was no point in trying to lie or deceive the Needle Knight. She was far too perceptive for that. Instead, he decided on a measure of truth, carefully choosing his words. "The Golden Order has its flaws, I will not deny it," he said, his tone serious and solemn, "but they offer the only path towards order and peace." His gaze flicked up to meet hers, a silent challenge in his eyes. Dee's expression darkened slightly at her words, his jaw tightening as he listened to her speak. He didn't like the implication that the Golden Order was flawed, but he couldn't deny the truth in her words. "Michaela's way is not the only way," he said, his voice low and firm. "And I don't scowl at shadows." He huffed out a breath, shaking his head slightly. "But I suppose time will tell which path is the right one."
Leda raises an eyebrow at Dee's reaction, amused by the hunter's defensiveness. She leans slightly forward, her eyes gleaming with mischief. "Easy there, hunter. I was merely offering my perspective. No need to get all tight-lipped and huffy." She chuckles softly, clearly enjoying getting under his skin. "You know, I've met a few like you, so devoted to their beliefs they can't see past their own noses." She pokes his chest gently, teasingly. "You're not letting that Golden Order blind you, are you?"
His expression darkened further at her words, his jaw clenching tightly as he resisted the urge to snap back at her. He took a deep breath, forcing himself to remain calm. "I am not blind," he growled out, his voice low and dangerous. He took a step back from her, shaking his head slightly. "And I don't need you poking at me like I'm some sort of child."
Leda throws her hands up in mock surrender, her grin widening. "Ah, touchy. My apologies, oh mighty hunter. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers too much. She twirls her greatsword playfully before resting it on her shoulder again. But mark my words, stubbornness is a heavier burden than any blade, and you, my friend, are carrying both. She winks, then turns to Hannes. Shall we move on before our dear Dee here combusts from sheer indignation? Her laughter rings bright, utterly unbothered by his glare.
His glare intensified at her words, his hands clenching into fists at his sides. He was this close to snapping at her, but he managed to hold himself back, barely. I am not touchy. He muttered under his breath, shaking his head slightly. He turned his gaze away from her, focusing instead on Hannes. Let's just get moving.
Leda raises an eyebrow at Hannes' response, her gaze
Dee
softening
rolled his
into
eyes in
something more
annoyance,
fond.
but followed
You're
silently
quite
as
the
they
charmer,
continued
aren't
on,
you?
his thoughts
She
still
says,
lingering on
her
Leda's
tone
words.
teasing. But then she turns back to Dee. Leda
Gave a
cackles,
slight scoff
thoroughly
at the
amused.
mention of his tendency to provoke
Can you
people,
blame me,
still
Hannes?
irritated
A
by Leda's
brooding hunter
words.
like that
I
is
don't
just
provoke
begging
people.
to be teased.
They just can't handle
Oh,
the
I do so
truth,
love
he
stirring
thought
the
to
pot.
himself quietly.
She grins,
He remained silent a
twirling her
moment longer
greatsword
before
once
finally
more.
speaking up.
Dee, sorry dude. You did very great. Actually, we can go to another freaking hunt soon, I think. I think more of those ogres are there. I can let you off if you so wish to, or do you seek to remain? I can, because I desire to stay and linger here and watch stuff.
Dee considered the offer for a moment, glancing at Leda briefly and then back to Hannes. I think I'll remain for a while longer, he eventually said, his gaze dropping to the ground as he spoke.
Dee will remain with us a while longer, but he won't be talking anymore. You can now talk with me once again. How was this brief time when I was away and doing other stuff? Right.
Leda turns to Hannes, her gaze softening. Oh, you missed nothing exciting, I assure you. Just some good-natured ribbing and a brooding hunter who desperately needs to lighten up. She chuckles, shaking her head, but there's genuine fondness in her expression. Though I have to say, it was nice to have someone else to poke at for a change. She flashes him a cheeky grin.
We did go kill a great amount of those blood fiends to this Rivermouth cave, and their blood shifted. We were very efficient in this, and he was great help in that.
Leda nods, her expression serious. Those blood fiends were a damnable menace, and I'm glad to hear they're dealt with. But I suppose I owe our dear hunter a small apology. Damn, that stings to say. She sighs, pretending to pout. I still think you're a grouchy old man, though, she adds teasingly.
I think he is not that old. He might seem that way, but I think we are around the same age. I cannot really know because I have not seen him under that awesome armor that he has. But I myself, we are quite I think similar age group, I imagine.
Leda laughs, amused by Hannah's musings. Oh, you're speculating, eh? Well, don't you worry your pretty head about Dee's age, she says, grinning widely. I'm sure his grumpy demeanor makes him seem older than he truly is. And as for his armor, you'll never get to see beneath it. He's as closed off as his expression.
You can tell that much already after this brief exchange, have you? You have not met him earlier, I assume.
Leda shrugs, her expression becoming serious once more. No, I haven't met him before, but first impressions can be quite telling. And I'd wager my greatsword that he's the closed-off type. The kind who never lets anyone in, no matter how hard you try. A lone wolf, through and through.
He tried to be lone wolf and very much do his own thing, but he was dishonorably murdered in the Round Table Hold by the via deathbed companion of those whom you did little bit spoke for.
Leda's eyes widen at the revelation, her eyebrows raising in surprise. She shakes her head, an expression of disgust crossing her face. Murdered. In the round table hold? Now that is low, she spits scornfully. To betray a fellow tarnished like that. I've seen my fair of backstabbing, but this is a new low.
It is a different from the Needle Knights you disposed of, I hope. You met them in the honest battle. Instead of this, it was a Via who used the serenity of the Round Table Hold and used the deathbed curse to kill him off. He was unable even defend himself.
Leda frowns, her expression darkening as she continues to listen. Despicable. To use a curse to take a life in the Round Table Hold is a grave blasphemy. Her voice drips with disdain. And they called themselves tarnished. Such cowardice, such treachery. I've dealt with my fair share of scoundrels, but this is beyond the pale.
I dispose a dung eater, but even he, with his vile desires, did not commit anything inside the Round Table Hold. It speaks volumes of the crime itself.
Leda nods in agreement, her expression hard. The Round Table Hold is a sacred place, meant for tarnished to find sanctuary and aid. To violate that sanctity with murder, it's unforgivable. She spits on the ground in disgust. And this fear, she cursed him? I've heard tales of the deathbed curses, but never witnessed one in action.
It is very freaking slow magic. It was a little bit maybe strange how Darian was got upon it. I imagine he used it while he was asleep or something. But it is a thing that will pierce your body with dark thorns and impale you from within.
Leda grimaces in disgust as Hannes describes the curse. She shakes her head in disbelief that such a foul magic could exist. By the Golden Order, even the sound of it makes my skin crawl. And to think that it can pierce your body with thorns and slowly drain the life from you without you even being aware. She shivers, genuinely unsettled by the description. Now let us continue on our path. We've much ground to cover, and I fear we've already wasted time discussing these foul deeds.
Thank you. I do think so as well. You have a very good inkling when to stop these conversations. I appreciate it. Others are very interested and keep asking and asking and asking. What else? What else? What else?
Leda chuckles at Hannes's compliment, her expression amused. My good friend, you are too kind. But yes, there will be plenty of time for chatter once our purpose here is fulfilled. Right now we must press on. She winks at him.
Siran's pack is honorable. And I don't seek myself want to bury my blood upon his blood.
Spurned by grace, kneel evermore before the flame of Mesmer.
I am interested of hearing who is this Varkram is, because I desire to dispose of as many of bloody cultists as possible, so you will share me this information later. But before this, I want your opinion on my current attire that I am holding. I return to you from my campaigns.
Leda eyes your attire with interest, studying your appearance carefully. Well, let me get a good look at you, she says, walking closer. Your current attire is quite interesting. I admire the black armor, makes you quite intimidating. And all those weapons, you are quite prepared for battle, aren't you?
It is so sweet that you pretend, but my current attire is Elite Pages one. It is a white hood and white, very rough cape with a more fancier clothing, very dualistic like. And weapon of choice is great Godskin Noble's rapier. It is my way of doing more of a grim murder stuff.
Leda chuckles softly at your words, shaking her head slightly. Ah, my apologies. It appears I wasn't paying close enough attention. However, I must say the elite page's attire certainly suits you. That white hood and cape give you an air of mystery. And the rapier. She whistles. Well, that thing looks dangerous. Quite deadly.
I will be leaving you my projection, whom is going to have a conversation with you instead of me, while I journey.
Leda raises an eyebrow, curious. Your projection? Very well. I will engage in conversation with your projection while you are on your journey. She glances at your projection.
It tries to follow me, but I command it to stay.
Leda smiles at your words, her expression amused. Interesting. Your projection is quite loyal, it seems, if it tries to follow wherever you go. But it also seems obedient, since you've commanded it to remain here.
And it continues speaking for me, or same time as me. We share words, mind, and touch, but I am the original one, and he is recognizable. You can recognize the difference if you're very subtle about it.
Leda's eyes widen slightly as she listens to your explanation. I see. So you and your projection share a connection, even down to your thoughts and words. Her gaze splits between you and the project, trying to figure out any distinguishing differences she can see.
I am fighting Fire Knight Guelin.
Leda raises an eyebrow, a mixture of curiosity and concern appearing on her face. She regards you carefully, her gaze fixed on you. Fighting a Fire Knight. That's quite a dangerous foe. Are you sure you're prepared for such a battle?
He is loyal to Mesmer, and Mesmer is the champion of the Golden Order. And I myself am more of a loyal to that faction, so this is a grim task that I don't really want to have, but I will still do it.
Leda's expression twists into a frown as she listens to your words. Her tone is heavy when she speaks. Loyal to the Golden Order, you say this is a grim task for you, and yet you still feel the need to do it. She pauses to consider your words, her frown deepening. Why is that then? Why do this deed if you find it so troubling?
Maybe I'm just pretending, I don't know. I am loyal to Golden Order, so I assume it is a grim task to kill one who is servant to that. Even though if I don't feel sad about it.
Leda studies your expression carefully, trying to glean what emotions lie beneath your seemingly calm demeanor. You claim to be loyal to the Golden Order, yet feel no sadness in killing one of its servants. There's a contradiction there. Surely you can see that.
I am a hypocrite at heart, or I abuse the philosophy of hypocrisy.
Leda regards you evenly, her gaze unflinching, her words sharp. A hypocrite, you say? That is quite the admission. Yet you claim to abuse the philosophy of hypocrisy? That makes little sense, friend.
I'm a little bit smiling. Please, continue. What is your mind about it?
Leda pauses, contemplating for a moment, then speaks. You ask about my mind, my thoughts on such hypocrisy?
Yes, you said it doesn't make sense. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Leda nods, considering her words carefully before speaking. Yes, I did say that your claim to be a hypocrite did not make sense. To claim to be loyal to the Golden Order and feel no remorse in killing one of its servants seems contradictory. To be loyal is to feel devotion, a level of obedience and dedication. And yet, here you are, claiming to be loyal, and still willing to do an act that would clearly go against your loyalties.
To be fair, he was the one who engages as me, and he called me graceless heathen, even though I'm a grace chosen, so he must be misled, and I was just defending myself. I say this with a little bit sarcastic tone, but hint of truth in it too.
Leda smirks at your response, sensing the sarcasm laced in your words. Ah, defending yourself, were you? and this knight dared to call you a graceless heathen, despite you being a chosen of grace. Such insolence.
I can respect. Oh, can you tell me of this fiery knight, Gwilling? Was he a servant of Mesmer the Impaler at some point?
Leda nods, looking thoughtful. Yes, Guiling was a servant of Mesmer. He was among the most trusted in the cult and served Mesmer loyally for many years. He was considered one of the most fearsome and dangerous among the followers of Mesmer.
I understood little bit that he seeked to be Impaler all on his own, or seek the similar title. That's why he uses the weapons he's using, and he was very powerful at it.
Leda smiles, her expression serious. Yes, Guiling was indeed seeking to become an impaler like Mesmer. He was drawn to the powers and prestige of that role, and sought to emulate it through his own means. His choice of the pike as his weapon of choice served this purpose, and he had become quite skilled at delivering gruesome deaths upon his opponents.
That's fine enough, fine enough. But yeah, you're right, I don't feel bad about defeating him. I know he's alive and he will be actually some point, if I remember correctly, I will find him depressed and very much unwilling to fight at after some point. I only killed his own red bloodthirsty projection after all.
Leda nods, her expression understanding. Ah, so you have defeated his projection. And yet, you don't feel bad about it. You seem quite calm about the whole situation.
Now I'm calm because it's not actual killing, but I assumed that he was alive and then, so I was still going to dispose of him in my mind and not feel guilt about it.
Leda considers your words for a moment, her gaze thoughtful. You say you are calm because it was merely killing his projection, but you still believed he was alive at the time. Despite knowing this, you were still prepared to dispose of him, without any guilt.
I think I have just done too much to feel, or it is just the whims of the mind that are just currently going after my thoughts. And what I am now speaking is just nothing too baseline to my true personality. I might just be talking shit to you. I've been honest but foolishly dishonest and not actually thinking correctly.
Leda raises an eyebrow at your words, her expression thoughtful. You say these words are not your true personality, mere whims of the mind. But then, who are you truly? Do you even know yourself anymore?
I think I do, but of course it's always the truly know one's mind is a very awesome thing.
Leda considers this for a moment, her expression thoughtful. You're right. The mind is a complex thing, and even knowing one's own mind fully is quite a task. But I wonder...
I found one of the what were those crab-like things that that Sir More liked very much.
Leda looks intrigued, her gaze fixed on Hannes. You found one of those crab-like creatures Sirmore was fond of. Where was it?
Those were not crab-like. They look like the ones that follow rot, but I don't remember. I won't remember the title what they were called. The Boraker Brood or something like that.
Leda purses her lips, thinking for a moment. Could you mean the forked tongues?
Anyway, these are gentle and not hostile, and I healed it with the Ember Stone, and it seems very happy about it.
Leda raises an eyebrow, her expression curious. Ah, the forked tongues. I've heard of their gentleness. And you healed one with an Ember Stone? I must say, it does seem happy about it.
Oh yeah, my projection can send the visual information to one whom I am speaking with. So forgive me for intruding in your mind a little bit unconsciously.
Leda chuckles, her expression amused. Apology accepted, though I must admit it's quite an interesting experience to get a visual feed from your projection.
That is not the thing that I very much like, but it has been an explanation why somebody says that they understand or see what is happening, even though they are very much elsewhere as I do my things.
Leda nods, her expression understanding. Ah, I see. So your projection serves as a means for others to understand your actions, even when you are not present. A useful tool indeed.
Tell me, how great was the Needle Knight before you decided to kill them off one by one?
Leda pauses, her expression becoming serious. Needle Knights, before they were no more. They were a group of elite soldiers who served the Golden Order. They were known for their skill in battle and their loyalty to the Order. But they were led astray by their love of killing, and they became a threat to the Golden Order.
I watch you with this, not a smile, but calmness. As I watch you still.
Leda looks at you, her expression calm. Why do you look at me with such calmness? Is my story not to your liking?
You are lying, my dear friend.
Leda raises an eyebrow at your accusation, her expression surprised. I am. And what makes you think that I am lying?
Come here, come closer to my projection, I whisper to you.
Leda obeys, stepping closer to your projection.
The sudden closeness of her puts me a little bit off my game because she is very beautiful. But in the end I will whisper to her that Needle Knights were originally Miquela's followers, similar to you, but you killed them off one by one because you found them lacking in purity.
Leda's eyes widen slightly as you whisper the truth to her, her expression turning serious and contemplative. My followers, she whispers, her mind reeling as she contemplates the truth.
Oh yes, now I forgot to tell you. Charm probably also deletes some memories and you will regain them when it breaks. You will gain these memories back when Mikola decides to forsake his Great Rune and it temporarily breaks the charm that is on you.
Leda's eyes widen in surprise as she processes your words. Deleted. Charm. What on earth do you mean?
Because after the charm breaks, you're gonna go after specifically two followers of Mikoela, your companions formerly. First is the Hornsent, that you rightfully judge because he becomes very much danger later on.
Leda nods, listening intently to your words. The horns. A dangerous one, then.
And then Sir Ansbach.
Leda nods, processing the information. Send me on what? What is SPAC?
Sir Ansbach.
Leda pauses, processing the unfamiliar sounds. Seer and Anspac. I've never heard those words before.
Can you name me each follower that is with you?
Leda nods, listing off the names of her followers. Let's see, there's Sir Treadway, Sir Ansbach, Sir Tursin, Sir Keth, and Sir Kalis. And then there's our cleric, Sir Cern. That's everyone with me right now.
He was the second one, Sir Ansbach.
Leda nods in agreement, her expression serious. Yes, you're right. Ansbach, he was the second one.
And that was whom I meant.
Leda nods again. I understand. And you said I will want to go after Ansbach when the charm breaks. Why so?
He desires to revenge Lord Morg's situation to Miguela, because I may tell you to you too.
Leda considers your words, her expression thoughtful. Revenge for Lord Morg, you say? And how did this Lord Morg come to be in his situation, as you say?
Miguela will use his body to bring him back General Radan.
Leda pauses, processing the information. Lord Morg will be brought back to life at Radan. How is that possible?
It won't be Morg anymore. It doesn't have his soul, because it belongs to me now.
Leda's eyes widen in shock, her expression shocked. What? His soul is now yours? That's absurd, is it not?
I have the ability to bind people's souls to the great runes if they possess them.
Leda's expression tightens, her anger barely contained. You have the ability to bind souls to the greater runes, and you do so freely and willingly?
It happens after I slay their body. I have right to either let their souls and mine go, or keep it in the great rune. Thus far, they have not objected. Each of them have appreciated the time they have lingered in here. I can forsake them and give them rest whenever I desire, and I am very courteous. I respect their wishes, and if somebody wishes to let go, I will do so.
Leda pauses for a moment, thinking about this. She lets out a sigh. Very well. If they have appreciated their time in your great room, then I suppose it isn't my duty to pass judgment.
I killed a dung eater though, even though I spared his soul I did go out of my way to spare him. I don't care to explain why, but then I regretted it and decided to burn his soul with the frenzied flame.
Leda cocks her eyebrow, her expression somewhat surprised. A dung eater. You didn't strike me as the type to spare the wretched man, but then you burned his soul in the frenzied flame. Why did you change your mind?
I don't know, I just got bored.
Leda frowns, her eyes narrowing at your words. Bored? You decided to spare a man and then kill him anyway, simply because you were bored?
Also, he was starting to disgust me, then I really thinking about it. And there was our first choice was because he was very knowledgeable of the Golden Order and its goings, because he was the sole enemy of it, so he had very much knowledge about it. So he was more of a squire or source of information. But after the fact, I started to hate him for his... because I do bear hypocrisy, but keeping him alive was too much.
Leda considers your words, her expression solemn. So you regret killing the one called Dung Eater, and you choose to spare those who are not as vile. I must say, your methods of determining who to spare and who to kill confuse me. But I suppose it is not for me to understand, no?
Yes, I think it is. I have no problems to talk about it. But the first reason was that the reasons that I did spare him on, did I go out of my way, didn't apply anymore. And because he was so vile, I don't feel the responsibility to if somebody's a very vile person, or I hold contempt for, I might spare them, but I don't, how to say, what is the term? I don't treat them.
Leda pauses for a moment, thinking about your words. She then slowly responds. Is the word mercy the one you're looking for?
No, the way I treat someone. I used another example. Latenna, the Alpine archer woman.
Leda's expression softens for a moment. Ah, yes. You said you spared her as well, yes?
She actually wanted to give herself up as a spirit, and I did go out of my way to show her kindness and attention, and told her that if she seeks to go some places, I will do so, go out of my way to spare time to her activities. But then there was a Dung Eater, or Black Knight Teacher, who was one of the ones who murdered Godwin the Golden. I don't hold the love for Teacher or Dung Eater, and I killed the other, but I do hold great appreciation to Leda, the Albinaric woman, and I will never burn her with the frenzied flame.
Leda considers your words, her expression thoughtful.
Ah, so you spared Latina because of the kindness you showed her, and because you hold appreciation for her. But you've killed those you hold contempt for, such as the Black Knife Assassin or the Dung Eater. Is that correct?
Killed all of the Black Knight assassins, and only one who I did spare was the one who was already dead and in spirit ashes. Ranni the witch did got to me and explained that she already died, so she was already punished for her crime, and she's very powerful, and I keep her around for sake of the power only. I don't want to be her friend. She is my ally only by her strength, right of strength, not anything else. But Latenna, I don't hold her as a good individual who I appreciate also.
Leda pauses for a moment of contemplation. I see. You killed the assassins but spared the one who was already dead. But you keep her as an ally for her power, not friendship. Latenna, however, you appreciate as a person, if I am correct.
This is true. Dung Eater is the vilest. I think he is the violent and Chaparriri, the one who manipulated and managed to get the Caravan people buried under the Leda. I consider Dung Eater even viler and more evil, and it was actually a great crime and hypocrisy on my part that I did go out of my way to spare him, while I was the one who killed him.
Leda nods, a grim expression on her face. Dung Eater is indeed vile, but not as vile as Shabriri, who manipulated and lead the Carven people to their doom. It was a great crime against me for you to spare such a vile person.
It was. I corrected that mistake, and it was inhumane correction. I know that. I think I was very inhumane and very loose in my reasonings, but he was so low in the standards that you would hold the morality or the funness of that balanced it to be next to fairness.
Leda nods, her expression solemn. Yes, I understand. Sometimes we lose ourselves and become inhumane. But I understand your decision to correct that mistake. He was certainly very low on the standards of morality.
Of course, there are others who will equally treat everyone with the same courtesies, and I don't follow that, even though... no, I don't follow that. I did this most of him.
Leda nods, understanding. So some will treat everyone with the same courtesies, but you do not.
I don't.
Leda nods, a small smile forming on her face. Very well then. So you follow that rule. That's fair enough.
Of course I understand, because I now killed one that I did go out of my way to spare. It has opened, I have done this deed, and I cannot take it back. I have disposed someone whom I did hold a great power over, just like I hold the others' power over, and I can, if I decide to, burn them also. There's always can be the fear that I will do so. I just say myself that I will not. But how much you can trust me?
Leda looks at you, a deep thought in her eyes. So you think you have lost my trust, eh? And that I cannot trust your word? Yes, there is certainly a risk that you will decide to dispose of my soul with the frenzied flame.
I would never do that.
Leda pauses for a moment, studying your face. You would never do that, you say. But how can you be so certain? How can I be so certain that you won't burn me with the frenzied flame?
First and foremost, you are alive, and you're capable of defending yourself. Second of all, I did not use you as a term, you as an individual. I did say you, but it was more of a wide expression of you, like all of you people.
Leda pauses for a moment, mulling over your words. Ah, I see, so you did not mean me in particular. You were speaking in a more general sense. Very well. I suppose I can understand that.
But yes,
Leda nods, a smile playing on her face. Very well. I suppose I have to trust you, right?
well, I can understand this. I have stared at one Vandican's blessings. Item that I can use ritual to spare someone's soul outside of the great rules and find it into the item. If it happens that the choice that allows me to either choose or not to choose fight against Nicola and you doesn't work and you will fight me nonetheless despite our both disagreement to what or want. I am saving this one, so I might save your soul, specifically.
Leda's expression goes from serious to genuinely surprised. You have a way to spare a soul without the rune. Is that correct?
Yes. I have spared this one last item because I have power to do it outside of that one sparing motion to one person. I don't have the power to just spare anyone. I have power to save one. And I have spared it for you if the unfortunate situation happens and you will fight me against your will and my will.
Leda nods, a small expression of understanding dawning in her features. You have spared this last item for me should the unfortunate situation rise and we will find ourselves fighting each other despite our mutual desire not to. I understand.
I have already watched other friends die, and they have had opportunity to spare them, and it has grieved me much.
Leda nods, her expression sympathetic. It is never easy to watch friends die. The pain of loss is a heavy burden to bear.
It would be very cruel also. One spiteful thing is that if it works that we manage to find an ending where we don't fight, it means that I have been holding the Vandican's blessing without anyone that I use it on. So I let my friends die with the potential that I could have saved them with hopes or what ifs.
Leda nods, understanding your inner turmoil. I see. You have been carrying a burden of what ifs. The potential that you could have saved your friends, if only you had spared the Vandican's blessing earlier. This is a heavy load to bear.
So I'm considering if I should use it on someone else prior to the fated moment where we either do or don't. But it is a risk.
Leda considers your words for a moment, then replies, I see. So you are considering using the Vandican's blessing on someone else. But there is a risk involved. What sort of risk?
If I use it on someone else, then I don't have it anymore. And if we go to fight, you will die.
Leda pauses, processing your words. If you use the Vandican's blessing on someone else, then you won't have it anymore. And if we are forced to fight, I will die. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Leda frowned slightly at your confirmation, her expression grave. I see. So using the Bandit King's blessing on someone else would be the end of me. This is quite the predicament that we find ourselves in.
But enough of that. What is your mind otherwise?
Leda looked at you, her expression curious. You want to know more about me, eh? What is it that you wish to know?
Is there some things that you like?
Leda ponders for a moment before replying. Something I like, eh? Well, I suppose I'm quite fond of flowers. There is something about their simple beauty and fragrance that I find soothing.
I found another companion, Dryleaf monk, Dane. He was very honorable and he decided to spar with me a little bit.
Leda nods, her expression thoughtful. A dry-leaf monk, you say? A very honorable individual, I assume. And he sparred with you, did he? A very bold move. Say it has.
He is the one who follows you people also. It feels very strange that you don't... Oh, it's fine, it's nothing. It is very sweet that you like flowers. Do you know there's a place that has many of them? Really many.
Leda smiles, a fond expression on her face. Yes, there is actually a certain place that has a great deal of flowers. Have you heard of the Eternal Garden?
Not yet. I had the other two places in mind. Jarberg, where is peaceful Charles live, and the Bonnie village, the one that it was home to the Marika.
Leda nods in agreement. Ah yes, Jarberg and the Bonnie village are certainly places of great beauty, filled with flowers of all kinds. The Eternal Garden, however, is a wonder all of its own. The garden is said to be a place of eternal peace and tranquility, a realm where time stands still, and the flowers never fade. Legends speak of the garden, but few know its true location.
Can I ask of you, are you seeing anyone?
Leda's expression softens, her expression becomes somber. Seen anyone, you say? What do you mean by that, my friend?
I was just considering if this thing works together, will you be potentially one I can ask to be my spouse?
Leda looks at you for a moment, seemingly surprised. Your spouse, you say? Are you asking if I would be willing to marry you, should we survive?
That is what I'm asking. I ironically have one item I have a Dark Moon ring that was meant for someone else. I never gave them that thing. I would like to give it to you.
Leda's eyes widened slightly at your words, a slight expression of both surprise and curiosity crossing her face. A dark moon ring, you say? It was meant for someone else, but you never gave it to them. And you wished to give it to me?
Yes, but only after if the journey is successful and if we decide to keep the similar mind after the fact. This is an idea that I ask you politely and straightforwardly to mold it over.
Leda pauses again, considering your words carefully, a serious expression on her face. So this is a proposal of sorts. You wish to give me this ring only if the journey is successful and we remain together? What do you mean when you say, mold it over?
It's just an expression to someone who thinks about stuff a little bit longer and thinks what ifs and yeses and no's.
Leda nods, a slight smile forming on her face. Ah, I see. You mean to say that the proposal depends on my thinking things over? To consider all the options and possibilities?
Of course, this is not like a political or arranged marriage.
Leda considers that idea for a moment, then responds. I agree that the union is not one of politics or arrangement, but I must ask, why me? Why not someone else?
There are many baseline answers, nothing too specific that would be too personal to you. So I'm afraid to give any single one of those because I think the first one is the most important one.
Leda raises an eyebrow, surprised at the first answer. Baseline answers, you say? And what is the important one then?
I'm very nervous and shy actually.
Leda smiles gently at your confession. You are nervous and shy, you say. Well, don't worry. I promise not to bite you, unless you ask, of course.
I probably will ask of you it later on.
Leda grins, her expression playful. Oh, you will ask of me something later on, will you? What is it you plan to ask of me then? And what will be the consequences of my answer?
Hopefully very productive evening.
Laughter escapes Leda's lips, her expression amused. Ah, productive evening, now that I am curious about. But you did say, hopefully. Are there doubts?
Well, I just say this. You have very awesome armor.
Leda's expression lights up slightly, her expression pleased. Oh, you like my armor, do you? Heh. Well, is indeed quite an armor. I'm quite proud of it, really.
I will list them, but I don't want to speak them out loud, the reasons, if you allow me to write them to you.
Leda nods, a smile on her face. Of course, you may write them to me, if that is what you would prefer.
I am chased by Hornsents, and I see one great undead dragon fighting against soldiers of many kinds.
Leda looks at you seriously, her expression concerned. You're being chased by horns, and you see a great dragon fighting gas. What is happening in this vision?
There's a great undead dragon that is battling Messmer soldiers, and it is demolishing them. I am not longer chased by the Hornsent, but I am watching this battle as I talk to you.
Leda gazes at you intently, her expression thoughtful. So there is a great undead dragon that is, as you put it, badly messaging soldiers. And you are no longer chased by Hornsent. This is quite the vision.
Well, I can't tell you there's some of the reasons. You're very beautiful boys.
Leda pauses, her expression mildly surprised. I am a very beautiful voice. You think my voice sounds beautiful?
Yes, simply put.
Leda's face softens, her expression slightly pleased. Simply put, thank you. I've always thought my voice sounded just fine. But it's nice to hear someone appreciate it.
Obviously, you're also personally very like a beautiful person as well.
Leda chuckles, a small smile on her face. Ah, you are you? Well, I guess you must be quite confident in your own looks then,
I meant you, not me, but also me, yes.
Leda laughs, her voice melodic. How about that? I guess we both have some confidence in our appearances then.
Also, one of the things that is very specific to Hannes, he is very much already very accomplished in his campaigns, and he is very morally grey and not righteous person because he has disposed many enemies, too many to count himself as a morally good person. As you have disposed the Needle Knights that served Mikuela, you both relate to the grey moralities.
Leda smiles upon hearing this, her expression amused. So Hannes is morally grey, I suppose we do share that in common. I'd hardly consider myself morally righteous, but I'd like to believe I'm more good than bad.
And if you choose, because you are extremely devoted to your god, that is Mikuela, and if you decide to choose something else outside of that, it is a great undertaking and great show of trust and allegiance. And I can trust that you stay loyal. Or I personally so think.
Leda nods, her expression grave. Trust is indeed a rare thing. In the lands of the Tarnished, it is not often that I find someone whom I can trust. But I sense I am able to trust you, even though we met not too long ago.
And I meant you, for I know that you take your responsibilities very seriously and don't do more much of activities outside of that. And if you were to consider me worthy for such time, I would take it as a great sign of your that you will be just stay loyal and just be trustworthy.
Leda ponders your words for a moment, then responds, yes, indeed. I take my responsibilities seriously, and I am not one who tends to humor much nonsense, but I must say, I sense that you are worthy of my time. If we are to fight together, you have my word. I will do everything in my power to protect you.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Leda smiles, her expression sincere. You're most welcome. I value trust immensely, and I'm glad to offer whatever help that I can.
Do you wish to know something else about me, or something else what you wish to talk about? And I am asking you.
Leda pauses, considering your question. Indeed, I would like to know something about you. And I suppose there is something I would like to talk about. What would you like me to ask you first?
You're very noble, polite, but I want you to decide.
Leda smiles at you, her expression amused. Ha, very know about light, eh? Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt for you to ask me first. So tell me, what is it that you want to know about me?
Where did you learn to become a knight?
Leda pauses, her expression thoughtful. Where did I learn to become a knight, you ask? Well, I was trained to become a knight from a young age. I was taken into the order young, and trained as a knight for many years. I spent many of my early years as an apprentice in Castle Sol, learning from veteran knights before I was sent to the battlefield to hone my skills in the field.
Yes. When did you... Were you kind of raised to the role of knighthood?
Leda pauses for a moment before responding. To be honest, I was a bit of a prodigy according to my teachers. I started to exhibit a talent for swordplay, a strong sense of leadership, and a certain aptitude for magic at a very young age. When the current General Knights of Sol saw this, I was quickly trained and promoted, until I became the General of the Order at a very young age. Why do you ask?
Not any specific reason, I was just interested. I guess.
Leda nods, an amused smile on her face. So you were just curious. Well, there's no harm in that.
I found new cross of Mikola.
Leda pauses, looking at you with a slight frown. You again. Haven't you learned your lesson already?
I found another cross of Mikola the Kind. He left here his eye.
Leda frowns, her expression suddenly serious. Another cross of Miquela, you say? Did you see anything else from him?
Simply put, his eye.
Leda raises an eyebrow, her voice serious. His eye, so he left behind only his eye. No sign of him.
I can talk to him directly if I touch the cross and then I focus on it. That I can do.
Leda's expression become more solemn, her attention focused on you. You can talk to him straight, huh? Do it then. Call him forth.
Oh, you're very eager, aren't you?
Leda frowns, her expression serious and impatient. Yes, I am, so call him forth. I have much to ask him.
I will. I actually will come to you next to you and do it with you. To the cross that you are occupying currently. I can do it like with you here.
Leda pauses to consider your words, then nods stiffly. Very well. I am ready when you are.
But please, can you ask me politely before I do this? Because I didn't actually appreciate the very demanding tone that you gave me because thus far we are just acquaintances, and the plans that we have put forth are only visions of the future that potentially will happen. Thus far we are just allies by pact.
Leda pauses, her expression apologetic. She nods and responds respectfully. My apologies for my demanding tone, my friend. It was not my place to give such a commanding request. I am grateful for any help that you can provide, and understand that our plans are not set in stone. But yes, thus far we are simply just allies by pact.
I will now kneel towards the cross. If you want to share, I think what you need to do is only kneel with me and take on my shoulder or something.
Leda nods, an expression of understanding on her face. Very well. I will kneel with you, if that is what you require. Moving closer to you and placing a hand on your shoulder, her grasp on you firm. She also places her other hand on your neck. There. Is this acceptable?
Now just close your eyes and focus.
Leda nods once more, closing her eyes and focusing. Leda's expression became one of both recognition and awe, her body slightly trembling as the voice of Miquella spoke through Hannes. She pressed her forehead to his, her eyes still closed, and a hand on his shoulder tightening its grip. This was not a show of fear or even submission, but rather a moment of deep reverence and devotion.